true.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, the government told me what the date was, so I can never be wrong. May 26th, it's a Tuesday, 2026. Thank you guys so much for being here. 26, huh? All right, well, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, Brenda, already. Checking in. Thank you. So, a couple things. We had a Memorial Day weekend this weekend, there was some very impressive displays at several of the cemeteries and the places where people have laid to rest, everywhere from Civil War all the way to what we are dealing with in the Middle East currently. So it was a good weekend for that. Did enjoy the float trip. Those of you guys are interested or whatever, we did go on the float trip, had a good time. It was an adventure, got moved in the middle of the night, and because of some plumbing issues they had downstream, so they wanted us to move just as a precautionary. Other than that, though, had a great time, enjoyed it, good food, did not remember any silverware, so that was a whole adventure and thing, so that was kind of a fun little part of that, the idea that oh, hey, we got food, but we don't have anything to eat it with. No cups, no silverware. It was kind of a funny thing, but we happened to take a cast iron skillet. So I was able to fry up the cast iron skillet, get the cast iron skillet going, got that all going. It was good. Was cutting up potatoes with a plastic knife until we were able to get something else. I think it was the Dollar General or something or other. Anyway, ended up being a great time, good stuff. Got back and enjoyed a good day of, just hanging out here around the house, doing a few things yesterday. So I know I've named today's Crazy as the episode for today, but I wanted to do a little bit of a personal update. I have located who my father was, and this has been a process for me for a lifetime. The story I was given led one to, oh, okay, cool, and this and that. And you never really want to look at your parents and you say, well, you're a liar or you're this or that. And so a lot of the information you take on is gospel, right? Just like Elizabeth Warren and her grandmother telling her that she had high cheekbones because she was Cherokee. So the point of it is that, there was information given to me as a young man that was completely inaccurate and had a lot of pieces missing out of it. And since then, in the last month of my life here, I really have put together a few pieces for myself as a child. And it's been very nice to be able to now, as of Friday, we did do an official DNA test to make sure that I am his or he is mine, or however you want to do that. And so I did find out that a gentleman in Mesquite, Nevada, is actually my father. And he grew up in Phoenix, moved up to the Northwest, spent a life up there. In fact, spent a time as a fisherman, and did work his way up to boat captain for 3 or so years. And so decided to get out of that when the quotas and the restrictions through the government and other things came through. So the government's always here to help. That always makes things better. So anyway, so he did that. I guess there was a realization for him that I did exist, but he was threatened by my step-grandfather. And so Mr. Rogers, Jim Rogers, was threatened my dad, told him not to darken the door, so to speak. And so he didn't. And so a year or so ago, hey, Hope Irving, good to see you. And so I saw some patterns. But the problem is there was another gentleman that my mother kept saying was the father. And so I have Ralph Price as my father on birth certificate, but he's not my dad. And then I was told another gentleman was my dad, and he's since passed, and he's not my dad, obviously, since we've had this DNA of things. But, again, I'm throwing snowballs, down the slippery slope to hell here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to ask. I don't know what to do. And so I may have made some mistakes. I may have bothered or hurt people by my conversations of information, grabbing, looking for what I could find out about myself and things of that nature. And so like I said, I'm looking around and I'm looking around, and I find this individual. And so everything's working out well for that. Now, I don't know how to do this. I happen to have a very public show who allows me to be able to talk about my life and other things like that and freedoms and liberties. And I know that I really do appreciate the platform you guys have given me. But I will tell you that at the end of the day, hey, Charlie Francis, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have found my dad. It's a new conversation for me. There's never been a time, and now this is what I want you guys to understand. There's a lot about me that I talk about on the show only because it's personal. It's personal. I mean, I talk about the freedoms and liberties thing because the freedom of the liberty of the mind, the freedom of the body is what I knew I was losing by running for office and having been attacked. Now, I get to have a conversation hey, I'm on the phone with my dad, or hey, I got to talk to my dad. Hey, Courtney Allen, good to see you. And so, having had to kind of figure all this out with him and this and that, we've talked quite a bit, actually, over the last few weeks. And I say quite a bit. It's, we're guys. We're not going to sit there for 3 hours and talk about whatever. We're kind of getting through things. So, anyway, but yeah, I did let my kids know that they do have a grandfather that is out there, and we'll continue to build that relationship, see how things go. Courtney says, I'm sorry I missed this weekend, my son's graduation, high school. I'm glad you had fun. Oh, absolutely, Courtney, no worries at all. I understand. So anyway, just kind of when we think about how life affects us, our stories can motivate and guide people through their same life stories. We all have life stories, but depending on what our life story is, it determines kind of who we are, right? Now, I don't know who I would have been if I would have had the balance of a male-female balance in my life with a father-mother. I don't know. I don't know what my mother would have done to my father and what he would have had to endure because of her. I know what it was like to be around her. I know what she did to other people that she supposedly loved or cared about, or people that, cared about her. So I just wonder if it really was, good enough just to kind of have me, but I don't know. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if I would be this person. I don't know what I would be in these different situations. So I have to ask myself those things, right? Just in time for Father's Day, she says, absolutely. Life can be challenging, but also very rewarding. And so I'm telling you guys these things about my dad because I want you guys to know my story, right? Because I want you guys to see that there are other stories that when we go out there and we complain that we're sitting in traffic, at least you're sitting in a car with gasoline and insurance and 4 tires in traffic, right? There's all these blessings you could add to that sitting in the traffic moment in your life, correct? So for me, I'm watching this whole thing kind of unfold, and I will see how it goes in the future. I don't know how to act. I know that sounds really weird, but I'm 55, and I now have a dad, so I don't know how to do that. For my entire life, I've never called anyone dad. I did not call Charlie dad. I did not call anybody else in my life dad. I've never had that privilege. I guess that would be a privilege to be able to do that. So we'll see how that all that works out. I guess it'll happen over time, and it will become natural and more familiar. I do wonder about the nurture versus nature of things, how I am and what I am, or how I act according to the outward impact of the world, but what is the genealogy coming through that would be my dad's characteristics. So we'll see how that goes. And so we'll see how things kind of come together and all that. It'll be something. I'll let you guys know. It does look like we're trying to schedule something together here in August very soon. So I'll let you guys know how all those things are going, but I just want to let you know that I do have officially, as of Friday, genetically or DNA testing or whatever you do it, that he is my father. And so I've let my two daughters know. Jimmy kind of knew about it already. He was already here, and he kind of heard the conversations, and so he was, we were in the, we're pretty sure, blah, blah, this and that. And then to come to find out, yeah, I was his father. But I told Kimberly and Rebecca today. So just to let you guys know that there is a part of my life that's developing. It's a after feed part that was never developed or never, and that's okay. Listen, guys, that's another thing too. For me to try to do what I'm doing and things like that, I don't have the mother-father figures in my life. And so now I'm going to have to figure out how to have a father figure in my life late in life when I never had a mother figure in my life. And so we'll see how, I called her mom, but she was not a mother figure. She was an authority, and she was a person who was very authoritarian, but she was never mothering. She never cuddled me. She never coddled. She never made sure I was okay. If I had a bad dream or whatever, it was, basically not her problem. And so I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to work out on myself. I want to find my new balance, my new normal to this whole thing, and see how things come together. But this is a new process for me, and I don't know how to put a father in your life at 55 ad. I don't know if many people do that. And so we'll see how this all goes. Courtney Allen says, if you happen to be out there watching, hi, Dad. You have a great son. We call him Teach. We love him. Well, thank you for that, Courtney. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome of you to say that. And this is another thing. See, that's even for me. I have to now be careful that I'm not... I don't know. I don't know if there's a certain amount of loyalty that I should have to my father, that I don't want to offend him or to cross him in a way or to soil his good name. So anyway, I don't know how all that works. So you do have a great son. Yes. Hi, Dad. I think it's fantastic, says Brenda Snowden. Well, thank you, Brenda, for that. I appreciate it. So anyway, just a couple of things, in my life going on. Now, let's get on to the, so anyway, I don't know how it's all going to come out. We'll see. I don't know how to have a dad. I don't know how to have a mom. I don't have, the mom's gone, so that's a cell that shipped 20 years ago. But, which again was a difficult conversation, because here's the thing, as a man in my late 30s, I had to make that decision that I no longer wanted to talk to my mother. And that was a big deal. And it had to do with my daughter. It was something that she said about Rebecca, and there's a lot of things, you don't talk about people, don't talk about my kids, they're my kids. I get to talk shit about my kids, you don't? But anyway, she said some things that had nothing to do with reality, and I just it is not worth the headache or heartache. But here's the sad part of it is the sarcasm and the biting comments that were in the middle of it that were directly straight at me, which were just very much childhood stuff that she was so normalized. She was okay with doing that. I was like, it's just not going to do it anymore. So the mom boat has sailed, but we'll see how the dad boat goes. I think, he's a great guy. He seems like a nice guy. We get along well on the phone. He seems very excited about the prospects and things that we're going into, and the fact that we will have some type of a relationship. It's good to see that. And I don't want to be. I'm still a child inside. I still have kid, stuff. I still have the innocence that still needs help, and So anyway, so we'll see how this all comes together here in the coming days and coming weeks and months. So it should be good. All right. Now, I called today's today's episode "Crazy" because it's CRAZZZYY. There's some stuff coming out that I don't know if there's some. Okay, let me do this. In a fight between two individuals, okay, let's say this is this individual over here. It's got the copper ring on, and this individual over here. Well, there's always a person's like, oh, yeah, and then the other person's like, oh, yeah, and the other person's like, yeah, and the other person's like, yeah, and the other person's like, your mama, and this guy's like, your mama, and you're like, oh, yeah, yeah. And so then it's, go ahead, touch me, come on, go ahead and touch me. Ooh, I pushed you, ooh, you pushed me, ooh, I hit you, ooh, I hit you. Now, here's the problem. In hand-to-hand combat, I have very few problems with two dudes figuring it out. If you want to strike a dude with your hands, not with your feet, not with your legs, not with your elbow, but if you want to sit there and just work it out with a guy, I'm all about that, okay? But here's my problem. If you've noticed the conversations I've been having of my disgust with several parts of different people in different parties saying different things, including Mr. Hakeem Jeffries, which is Mr. Placekeeper himself, if he thinks that they have him in there as the minority leader in the House because of his amazing leadership, his ability to navigate, for his ability to motivate, for his ability to lead the crowd, to lead the troops, to go into battle. Well, if he believes that, then he is far more delusional than most of his conversations. Now, my problem is remember these two people who are like, oh, yeah, screw you, and I'll punch you, and you'll punch me, and I'll punch that, and you'll punch you, and I... Remember all this? When you decide that there are no brakes and there are no guardrails, that's how you end up with George Floyd. That's how you end up with Renee Good. That's how you end up with this whole ICE stuff. That's how you end up with all these different things. Because the problem is the only thing left after you decide that just trying to convince someone or give them better information so they can decide on their own, when you decide that the only other answer is to kill somebody, is to execute somebody, is to go too far, is to push the limits and continue going through the boundaries of social norms and laws and regulations, those things that we kind of try to keep the guardrails on. Well, the reason I'm saying that is because there's a problem I'm having. A panel of leftist judges decided to snub the United States Supreme Court and threw out a perfectly constitutional redistricting map today. Now, listen to what I just said here. It requires Alabama to continue to use a 5-2 radically gerrymandered map. The court ordered the congressional elections in 2024. The state has recently voted to reinstate its old map, which has 6-1 Republican. Now, listen, this what they're doing is there's 5-2. Okay, it goes. All they're doing is gaining 1 seat Republican. And this is what they're doing. This is how far Alabama. So now, here we go. Now, I have always said this, guys. Now, you guys have to figure out which side of this map you want to be on, which side of this fence you want to be on. Because when Lincoln put us into the Federalist model by telling the South they are to comply, the individual state rights of the South said, no, we will not comply because our individual state rights supersede the federal government. And Lincoln said, oh, yeah? So he came down and he fought his own people for saying that the individual states get to make their own authority. They get to write their own laws. Now, here's the problem. We're running around now saying that we live in a federalist model. We would believe that the federal model, the Uncle Sam, reaches down and supersedes all state laws. But see, that's what everybody was all mad about with the whole abortion law thing, right? By the way, If abortions were legal in 71, I wouldn't be here. Just ask my mom. She'll tell you all about it. When we have individual states who now decided to say, okay, well, the Supreme Court said this, now we're not going to do what the Supreme Court said, what do we do with that? Are we going to say that, yes, individual state rights do actually exist above the federalist model, and that we are to be a federal, like a group of a union of states? So my problem is that the reason I named today's episode Crazy was really the idea that this is like when Alabama decides that they're going to tell the Supreme Court no, after the Supreme Court got involved in their bull, and so we had to come down there and like, okay, no, listen, guys, you need to give the Republican. So my point is that now we have a problem. What happens next? What happens when the states decide that they're going to go too far? What happens when the states decide that they're going to go do their own thing? What happens when Georgia decides to do Georgia thing and start shooting at Alabama or start shooting at Florida or start shooting? You follow what I'm saying? This is the problem we're having here. When nothing stops you, when going clear to death is okay to win your argument, you've lost the argument. And that's what we're up against here. Federal judges on Tuesday temporarily blocked Alabama's plan to use a new congressional map that could give Republicans an advantage in a key House race in the midterm elections. A three-judge panel in the state's long-running redistricting case issued the preliminary injunction that prevented the state, at least for now, from switching maps. It requires the state to continue using the same court-ordered districts that were used for the congressional election in 2024. Lawyers presenting black voters in the state's in lengthy redistricting, Lawyers representing black voters in the state's lengthy redistricting case had sought the preliminary injunction, arguing the same panel in 2023 found the state map was intentionally discriminating against black voters. They also argued Alabama has created chaos by trying to change lines in the middle of an election year. Now that, again, this is where, listen, if you have a good argument, you're not trying to do this. If what you say is, like from the heavens, and then the gods came down and anointed you, then you shouldn't have to go this far and this hard, right? But that's what we're up against. This is the problem, guys. Is that this creates that chaos, that angst, the anxiety where people don't feel like they want to go vote. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't want to hear this. They get tired of it, and they get tired of it, and they get tired of it. Looks like there was a chemical explosion in Washington State, and it looks like several people were killed and missing. So we'll have updates on that as the week progresses. We'll see how that all comes together. Minnesota Tim Walz skips Memorial Day ceremony. Yeah, that's Mr. Minnesota, Mr. Tim Walz balls, Mr. Tampon Timmy, the guy who is so effeminate he can't even help himself. By the way, this guy, he's just... wait. You know what? Let me stop. He's being true to himself. He's being true to himself. He is being authentically really Tim. Now, I can't, listen, no. Now, I may not like what Tim is. I may not like what he stands for. But at least Tim's being Tim, and Tim's not holding back being Tim, right? He's doing Tim stuff. Tim's doing what Tim does, not taking responsibility for we're investigating all fraud. And if this guy opened his eyes up anymore and continued to tell me how crazy he was because he keeps showing the whites on the tops and the bottoms of his eyes... Oh, God. Well, anyway. Yeah, old Timmy Walz balls here. He decided he's going to go to the George Floyd March. All-day festival in South Minneapolis. So, yeah, that was cool. So yeah, that's old Timmy Wallballs doing that. He said he wants to he wants to he wants to he wants to be that guy. I don't know. You know what? Like I said, he's doing him. You do you, boo. Get it, buddy. Get it. All right, here we go. All right, let's see what the video has to say. George Floyd Square. Well, thank God for that. Walls never showed up to the Fort Sneely National Cemetery Memorial Day program despite being listed as a speaker in the official lineup. Guys, this is when we don't have leadership. This is what this looks like. We're supposed to honor our heroes. He blows off veterans. What a slap to the face, one of the attendees told Liz Collin of Alpha News. That's what we do. We decide that the governor, Amy Klobuchar, and the governor of Minnesota just don't need to show up. Even though being listed in the program as people that will be speaking and showing up. Here's the thing. When you tell somebody that you're going to be there, like, so when I speak at events, you know, I either MC the event or I'm speaking at a keynote speaker or whatever. I mean, there's lots of verification that goes on. There's lots of planning and commitment. What time, you know, where you're going to be, if you need to stay a place, you're going to have this, you're going to do that. So this is not something that they lightly put on their flyers on the programs. They knew that this guy was supposed to be there. Hey, Rhonda Dorr, good to see you. Yep, my doctor told me at 18 I had medically reasons to abort my baby due to I was in a wreck and had x-rays and pain meds. I chose no, and I'm glad I did, or I wouldn't have my beautiful, healthy 45-year-old daughter. Well, yeah, Rhonda, that is, but this is what, again, guys, I don't know. I was thinking about some of this. When do we actually help each other in the hospital? I have learned so much about the human body over the last 10 years of my life. I have studied, I have researched, I have looked into, I've done BH4 pathway through autism, the methyl B12, the methylfolate, the liver dysfunction, the bad gut, the aluminums in the brain. I have done so many things, and I will tell you, Rhonda, that the idea that your doctor said that to you is literally the same thing they say to everybody about everything. It's never, I don't know what they're doing that's good other than setting bones back. Other than, like, with my situation, they didn't set the bones back. I guess I healed myself, but I mean, I don't want them cutting me open. I don't want them going in and looking around. I don't want them taking out my gallbladder or my appendix or my teeth or any of that stuff. I want all my stuff to be mine. Mine and mine alone. But I don't know what doctors really do for us. Statins, SSRIs, all these mood-altering medications, these are all things that are destroying our bodies. And not kind of, guys. Hey, listen. Okay. If I could tell you that you could literally add more time to the end of your life and have more time, more quality of life, or I can give you this pill that will shorten your life, but you won't have to work at getting better at life. But your life will be shortened. Your symptoms will be the same. Most of your stuff will continue on, but you will die sooner. But I can give you a pill that means you don't have to work at staying alive. You just eventually just die. See, this is the part I don't know anything about. I don't think doctors know what they're talking about. I really don't, guys. At this time right now, I've gotten rid of all kinds of stuff in my own body and redone things in my body, and everything the doctors told me to do would have literally made me sicker, made it so much worse. I'm going to read this article, and I want you to understand why I'm reading it before I do. I'm reading this article not because I am supporting the article, but I want you to see the pattern of behavior, okay? Now, I don't care where you want to be on certain subjects. That's not my thing. We're not doing the debate on whose religion's best or whose God's better or any of that stuff. But this is a problem I have, and this is why I wonder what we're really doing over there. And yes, if we do get the Iranian people to be free and let them have their freedoms back without having the religious zealots running their country, I could probably be cool with that. But here's where I told you guys I'm having a problem, and this is it. A fragile ceasefire in the Middle East is once again under the strain after Benji ordered intensified military action against Hezbollah in Lebanon, raising fears of a border escalation that could derail ongoing diplomatic efforts. Okay, that's all I'm going to read of. I don't give two shits about the rest of this. Everything that this man is doing, Benji's doing, has to be stopped. And by the way, guys, I know we have a president and I know we have legislators, but you know what Benji is? He's a political leader. Do you know what Xi is? He's a political leader. He's not, guys, we have other countries that let political leaders run the country while the other political appointees or elected people run their offices, but there are other people above that, like Benji. Benji's just a tyrant. But what is he doing? He's over there throwing bombs and bullets where he doesn't have to, doesn't need to, and there's already an agreement. But he had to go in and do a intensified military action. Why? Because that stupid ass needs it. He needs to kill people, drain people of their life force, do whatever it is. I am done with the guy. I'm over it. I used to look forward to this guy, and I'm really, really, really not. Hey, Susan Bly, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you being here. So, anyway, I just want you guys to see how this actually works with this guy. He has a pattern, and it has not stopped. If anything, it just seems like the world is starting to see him for what he is. And by the way, guys, to be anti-Semitic is not to be anti-Jew or anti-person or anti-Israel. I'm just saying I don't go out wildly supporting other people's religions that I am not a part of. And I'm allowed to do that, I thought. I thought that was the whole point of religions, that you get to pick your own God. That we're not doing that one God, one thing, right? Or are we doing that now? These are just questions, right? Don't get mad at me. Don't be upset with me. All right, so let's see what else we. I can't seem to find this video on this. Andy Kim, he's an Asian legislator. He went to the ICE facility in New Jersey with a suit and a tie. He got all dressed up. He is Andy Kim from New Jersey. He's a senator, and he went to New Jersey on Monday, and so did the governor. Now, guys, I don't know what you're doing on your public holidays or whatever you want to call them, but I'm not going to an ICE facility and doing that whole thing. Just saying. This is what some people decide, and they thought it was going to be the photo op of the century. Not that cool, brother. All right. Now, do you know, okay, Camp David, I remember when I was a kid, you know, Reagan and Bush, they all went to Camp David all the time. It seemed like we're having a summit in Camp David. Oh, in Camp David. Oh, in Camp David. Oh, in Camp David. Oh, Camp David. Anyway, so Trump, it looks like he's going to be holding a meeting with his cabinet in Camp David on Wednesday, which we'll have to see what that is going to entail. Well, I'm sure we'll find out more. Or we'll just wait for it to be leaked earlier. Who knows? Was there another attempt on Trump's life? I'm not seeing what that was, but John James goes nuclear. A Republican Michigan gubernatorial candidate, John James, unleashed a fiery broadside against the corporate media, accusing them of fueling a culture of political hatred that is helping radicalize unstable individuals against President Donald Trump. Now, this is where I was talking about in the beginning of this, where if it's not just an ideology, you know, your will against my will, okay, you have your way, I have my way, and we walk away. Well, if we don't stop at that, which seems like there's a group of people that don't want to stop to that, it's only assassinations. It's only the killing of, right? We got to kill everybody. Kill, right? My point is that this is one of those deals where this guy's like, hey, why are we allowing this to happen? Why are you guys feeding into it? But, you know, here we are. During an interview on Fox News, James, a combat veteran, Trump ally, and a fearless voice of Michigan values, didn't hold back during the Memorial Day weekend remarks. I think it's great. Let's see what, let's go ahead and bring him up. Well, you're not supposed to talk like that. You're a black man. Black men don't say those things. Oops. Kamala, that was Uncle Barry. Uncle Barry was the one that would told the black men that they need to they need to soften up and vote for. Oh, audio wasn't playing? Are you kidding me? Seriously, didn't play? Oh, I tried a different screen capture. Well, shoot a hoot. Why didn't that mix? Why didn't that come in there? Boy, I tell you what, boy, I tell you, I don't want there. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Oh, anyway, so he got up there and said a thing or two there, so. Oh, it happened on the last one too? Well, guy, all right. Okay, well, I'll use the right screen capture. How about this? We'll do this one here. Screen capture, we can do that one there, boom, right there, and then boom, that there, and then boom, that right there. Oh, boop, boop-a-doop, boop, boop-a-doop, boop, boop. All right, well, we'll try it again. Sorry, guys, I thought we had gotten that one in. Technology's here to help you, isn't it? Isn't that the right, isn't that what they always say? Where'd it go? Oh, is that up here? Well, there it is. Okay. Bring that up. All right, we'll play that again. Here we go. Oh, I think I got the wrong one. Never mind. Hold on. That was it's the right interview, it's just the wrong screen in it. God dang it. My bad. There we go. Boom. All right.
Because TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, is a communicable disease, and it's being spread by the mainstream, lamestream, fake news media. President Trump is literally spending his holiday weekend negotiating for peace in the Middle East. He had to miss his son's wedding because he loves this country, wants to keep us safe, and this is the fourth attempt on his life that we know of in the past 2 years. This is because you keep calling people, the lamestream media calls the president Hitler, makes comparisons, and would like to see him gone. And this is the type of thing that begins creeping into the mainstream and radicalizing these people who are taking attempts on the President of the United States. It must stop. It must stop now. And we need to remember the reasons why we're celebrating Memorial Day is bringing our country together. And the extremists trying to rip us apart need to absolutely be called out and held accountable for their terrible words and actions.
Yeah, there we go. Now we got it in there. All right. Well, I mean, if you guys, I mean, that's pretty easy to agree with. The sad part of it is that we have a lot of people out there, like he says, that are being radicalized. Okay. Hi, my name is Jim. I was a fatherless individual who had a mother who was very socially unstable, who did drugs and alcohol. If any time there would have been any individual, listen to me, guys, listen to me. I am Jim Price. I'm sitting right here in front of you. Now, my intelligence played a big role in my ability to maintain a certain path. But if anybody would have bothered to lean in, to have been a bit of a mentor, to have been a bit of an authority, or been a bit of a caretaker in a way that really made me feel safe, I would have strayed off into whatever it is they wanted to lead me into. I would have. Now, my intelligence kept me on a pretty straight path. I kept my shoulders about me, which allowed me to negate or navigate a lot of things in life without having had to, go through a lot of bad things. And I went through bad stuff, but it could have been significantly worse, right? If you think about what he just said, he's talking about the kids like the Butler County kid, the Butler County in Pennsylvania, the Butler, Pennsylvania kid. And just like the other individuals who seem to be these loners, to be these types who don't have the heavy-handed father figure in the life, who's actually out there showing him what he should and shouldn't do, who's had too much screen time, who's had too many SSRIs, who's had too many cholesterol and other types of blood pressure medications. Yes, these do affect your psyche. It really does. Now, let's say I'm 55 years old and I'm really still kind of pliable and nobody's really filled that void, but suddenly there comes along an individual or an agency that could go in and start manipulating things inside of me. I start going on some antidepressants. I start going on some cholesterol pills. I start going on some blood pressure pills. Next thing you know, I'm doing things that maybe if asked 10 years ago, I wouldn't have done. But now I'm suggestible because I've lowered my frequency, because I've allowed pharmaceuticals to go in and change my mind. That's the truth. Now, think about if you're another individual who has a lower IQ, who has some, other self-esteem issues, who doesn't know how to take care of it, who doesn't understand that there are things you can do to help self-talk and work your way through stuff. There's a lot of that, right? So think about if you're an individual who's got low self-esteem, whatever, depression, things like that, inward thinking, and then something starts going in your head, something starts coming up on the screen. Those are the exact people he is referring to, are those people that are out there a little listless, that don't have a wind behind their sail, who don't have a harbor to go to when the winds are tough and doesn't have somebody to help them. Think about the other individuals, and this is a fragility issue. There are lots of people who are ready to kill themselves, who are ready to kill others because they are just in that moment in their life, in their state, in their mind. And maybe it's only a fleeting moment, but if they can somehow make their fleeting moment of their mind being overwhelmed, and they can bring in just the right amount of pressure to get them to do something out of character, suddenly now they're an assassin. Suddenly now they're a bad person. Suddenly now they're a lone gunman. Do you see what I'm saying? The sad part of it is that this is where I talk about how humanity could do better, how we could be better humans. And the fact that our families and our friends and our fathers and mothers, we all need to be better for each other. The sad part of it is we all got to quit trying to be such pieces of shit to each other all the time. Because there's a lot of people, I'm not saying that's what I'm doing or other people are doing to me, but there are people that go out of their way just to be shitty because they think they got to get their pound of flesh. Because they think they got to win first. They think they got to get the dig in first. They think they got to get their shot off first. They got to throw the first knife. They got to do the first clawing, whatever it is. But there are people out there that are very fragile, just like in the whole lockdown situation. Remember, in April of that year, the first month, we had a lockdown to slow the spread. Remember that whole thing? We killed twice as many people in suicide. I say we killed because these people were already fragile. These people were already there, and all of a sudden you took away their hope for tomorrow, and twice as many people, 1,200% more people killed themselves in April than they do in a standard month. In the standard month, okay, so many people kill themselves. We know this to be true. And the mass, like 80%, 90%, the majority are men. In April alone of that year of the lockdowns, we had an entire year's worth of suicides in 1 month. 1 month. We had an entire year's of suicide that first week or the 2 weeks to spread the curve. Remember that whole bullshit? Scaring the shit out of people, making them think something was going to kill them all the damn time. See, this is the problem. When we know that we can kill people by slowing the spread, by flattening the curve to lock it down, there's no tomorrow. Well, people will go ahead and kill themselves. Guys, I want to go with this for a second, and I will tell you this. I do believe absolutely 1,000% inside of who I am that there is an absolute play for energy here. Now, you could call it energy from the light ring or the computers that run this program out to you, or the energy that runs the lights and the phones, the computers you're watching this. You could think of it that way, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that frequency. I'm talking about what the energy that's on the frequency, the energy that is the frequency. I think that there is a true battle for your negative energy. I do believe there is a true battle for your suicide. I do believe there's a true battle for your evilness. I do believe there's a true battle for the negative frequency that can get you to continue to live in. And the best one they know that they can keep you rolling in all the damn time is fear. Fear, fear, fear. Fear, 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 fear. Fear, 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 fear. I do believe that whatever is out there, whatever it is that we don't know, because we are very small. Guys, we only see 0.0, is it 0.03 or 0.3% of the entire light spectrum? Guys, if the light spectrum was LA to New York, LA is west, New York is east, only 1 inch of that entire distance would be visible to you. That's how little of our existence we really know. That's all we can see. And you guys understand, and I think there's something greater and bigger than you and I, because we're nothing. We know we're nothing, and we're still running around going, I can see that the earth is flat from my porch. I look out over my porch. I've looked out of airplane windows, and I know the curve of the earth just doesn't exist. I love the arrogance of the human being. I love it. It is fascinating to me to see how brilliant we think we are, how smart and crafty and clever and whatever other little words you want to use to describe all the things that you think you are. I like using the analogy of if the light spectrum is spread from LA to New York, you can only see 1 inch of it. And so tell me how big you are. Tell me how powerful you are. Tell me how much you really understand. That's where I start getting real small, and I realize that I have so much more to learn. And the more that I learn, the less that I know. And the more I learn, the less I know. The more I learn, the less I know. Yes, I'm learning more and more every time I go into a deep dive on something. I go and try to learn more and more about something. I am learning, but I also realize that there's so much more beyond that even. But I will tell you, even knowing that I'm trying to learn all those things and do all those things and get that, I still will tell you that I still think we're nothing. I'm nothing. I wish I could understand those things. I wish there was more for me to. I want to be that mediator. I want to be the ones that bring you guys the alien information. I want to be the ones like, listen, I've been talking to the booper-dipperders. And, yeah, you guys are, yeah, we're dumb. We're not good. We got a lot. We think we're like, hey, we got nuclear weapons. Ooh, we went to the moon. We faked it and everything. No. Guys, if these people, if anything that we are playing around with in our space force or our air force or our military or whatever it is, guys, if even any of that stuff is like we're just trying to play with it ourselves, and you think that we're like, oh yeah, we're human beings. I'm on top of the world and looking down on creation, and right? You guys are just the best, which is cool. I get it. You want to have a certain amount of confidence, but that only works with your local peers. It doesn't work on a galactic level. You realize that, right? But I would love, Mary Shelton. Hey, girl. Love you dearly. Good to see you. I hope to make a trip over to Middle Tennessee here in the next few weeks. Hopefully within the next couple months for sure. So I would love to see you and your daughter. Mary Shelton has a beautiful daughter, amazing daughter. Got to speak sign language with her, and just love those two dearly. I hope that Mary, I hope you're doing well over there, dear, and say hi to your daughter for me. What a great little girl. I got to meet them when I was over there in Pigeon Forge working with Brighteon TV. I was over there doing a news program for them, and got to meet Mary Shelton through the local activists that were out there doing things like vaccine awareness and all the other stuff with food and things like that. So Mary Shelton, good to see you. So thank you for being here. Okay. The world that we live in, this thing that we're doing right now, what is the problem with me? What is the problem with Jim Price? Now, if I were the Matrix, or I were evil, or if I were the 99% of the light matrix that we can't see out there, and there was some dude saying, hey, listen, we got to do better, and he wants to communicate with the aliens, he wants to start bridging the gap, he wants to start making sure that people understand their wealth and the knowledge that they have inside them, that their energy is their power, is their wealth, is their energy. You exchange your time, you exchange your whatever for your energy, right? Your frequency. So know what your value is when I say that, right? I said know your value, right? Talking about your frequency of things. Talking about who you are and what you are. But why is it that I can put you in the state of fear so fast? I can make you doubt yourself. I can make you fear yourself. I can make you think tomorrow isn't here. It is there. Oh, I'm not worth it. Yeah, they're worth it. Yes, I'm worth it. No, why? I mean, but if I said, you're beautiful and amazing and you're a happy person and I love your growth, I love what you're doing, you're like, Jim, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. But if I say, oh, there's a boogeyman out there and, oh, the government's going to eat your legs off and, oh, and you guys are like, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the sky's falling in it. Oh, yep. I actually got to see that little video the other day. On Sesame Street with the that whole thing. Anyway, the aliens on there. But guys, if energy to get you to laugh, which is actually a way of stimulating not only the vagus nerve, but actually allowing you to regulate into a joyous effect, where your body within seconds can flush with amazing feel-good hormones through laughter and pleasure and touch, and just learning how to feel that touch is good. Touch is pleasurable. Touch is pleasurable. Touch is pleasurable. Quit it now in your head when you say, Jim, you're wrong. But how is it that it's so hard to get you to agree that it's pleasurable? How is it so hard to get you to understand that it's okay? How is it hard to get you to laugh and feel joy and understand those things? And to be giddy like a child? But I can tell you oh, you got cancer. Oh, I knew it. I just knew it. I could feel it in my bones. I knew it. Oh, that's why I couldn't eat corn the other day. I knew it. That's why I got cancer. Oh, that's it. I'm dying. Oh, the world's ending. I've got to, pack it up. Oh, I'm 50 years old. Oh, I'm old now. Oh, 55. Oh, I'm old now. Oh, now I'm 60. I'm old now. How about screw you? How about I'm not old? I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out how to stomp the ground. I'm figuring out how to jump higher. I'm figuring out how to get better. And if I fall down and I break a bone, I'm going to heal that one for 3 to 6 months. I'm going to get up and do it again. Because I'm not going to stop, and I'm not going to let whatever it is that keeps trying to draw me into that negative energy, I'm not going to let that happen. But what I will do is I will always cry out to you, and I will always reach out to you, and I will always ask you, do you want to come over here where it's not so bad? Do you want to see a positive way? I will tell you what's going on around you so you can make better decisions to get out of the mess. See, I hope that if anything you learn from this is how to get out of the mess, that the mess is a mess and you don't have to be a part of it. The mess is a mess not because of you, because of other people. The mess is a mess, but you can let them play with it, but you're going to sit over here and stay out of it, right? But why is it that the negative is so easily passed around? Why is it they were able to write articles about me being a drug dealer, even though I have never sold drugs to anybody, even though no one's ever bought drugs from me? There's no one been willing to testify to these things. But yet I have articles written about me being a drug dealer. How is that possible? Because negative runs like wildfire. But yet to tell you that I've never done those things and coached football for 12 years, coached wrestling for 12 years, was an Awanas director, was a youth pastor. I've signed billion-dollar contracts. I was a defense contractor with amazing top security clearances and all these things. How come it's so hard to hear that part about me? But I can get online and I can hear how I'm a drug dealer. I can hear about how I was doing steroids. Now, I don't know if you guys look at me lately, but I've looked way better now than I did 10 years ago, but supposedly I had steroids on me. Supposedly I'm a drug dealer. And if you look at me back then, I was horribly not in shape. I was horribly not in good way. My gut and everything else was just trashed. But they wrote an article while I'm having issues where I was having tests done to find out why I was passing out. But at the same time, that part of the article isn't saying, hey, listen, Jim's out there trying to work on this. He's got this going on. Yes, there are allegations of these things, and we're going to wait to see how the courts work it out. And as his social groups and his friends continue to rally around him and bring him aid and know that they want to leave him better than they left him, we know that Jim Price is going to go on in the future. He may not be our next representative, but you know what? I wish him the best. That was not the article. No, Jim Price is a drug dealer and had steroids. What was it? Yeah, I think it said steroids. It's so weird. And the date wasn't right. The products that they said, there was none of that in the house. The problem is that the ATF came out and said there's nothing here. This man can have his guns. This man can have whatever he has in his house. And leave it alone. This is not a crime. But they still created one, didn't they? Didn't they? But see, why did they need that negative story? They already had the crime. They already had the arrest. They already had the charges. Why did they need to write the article? Because that negative energy, that wave that came out over me, that people started thinking of me in a different way, all that did was feed into their energy. Whatever the energy that's outside of our reality, guys, whoever is controlling the ant farm or the globe or the sphere or the flat earth or whatever you guys want to say you live in, okay? I don't give a shit anymore. I'm tired of trying to have that conversation. We can't have the conversation that there's something negatively pulling the energy off of us. Can we have that conversation? Can we break from those bonds? Hell, they told us even in Ghostbusters about the sewage of bad energy running underneath that city, and it was going to tear that city apart. And look at New York today. Nobody wants to be there. And I say that generally because there are still millions of people living there, and there's still people that want to be there. But why can't we get it through our thick skulls that are still pliable and malleable? By the way, your skull bones never stop moving. By the way, it's not possible for them to fuse. Anyway, why can't we get it through our thick skulls that every time we're talking shit, every time we're making up shit, every time we're trying to do shit, every time we're trying to judge somebody, make someone, oh, well, you can't say that word, Jim. Why? It's not in the Bible anywhere. Oh, it's offensive. Who? Who? The only thing I saw that when the Bible it says that it was offensive is that God said to never stop using his name consistently. To use it in vain means to use it always in every instant, to overuse it. It doesn't say not to use it out of context. It's to say to never stop using it always. Hey, but what do I know? Again, you guys are the authority. Well, let's work on that negative energy where you get to yell at somebody for using the word God when we don't even know what God they're referring to. And by the way, do we even know what God we're referring to? I'm not trying to say there's no God, but at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that are not seeing the easiest part of this whole equation. Stop being shitty with each other according to Jesus, how he rolled the tables. Okay, let's go on that math, right? Can we have that conversation? Jesus did that. Righteous indignation, that whole thing. We have to be better for each other. There's no reason why we can't. There's no reason why we can't. There's so many reasons for us to do better out there. I went way long today. I apologize. I didn't mean to, but does look like over at the radio station that they are going to have everything under control. And on January 1, looks like the Jim Price Show will be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the radio station out there. And Florida, that'll be one of the stations picking that up. And then it looks like it'll be replayed again 3 hours later, I think it is, or something like that. So anyway, good things are happening. But what happened was with my buddy Dave, he sold his house, bought this radio station, like moved into the radio station, had people supposedly there to help him and all this, and he found out they were just scamming him the whole way. So he had to do a little bit of gardening, like the first 2 weeks he's there. I was supposed to be on. He thought he could go ahead and get going right away, but he had to buy all new equipment. He has since got that all taken care of. Anyway, so his radio station will be picking that up. So the new radio station I talked about a couple months ago is just now coming online. So anyway, guys, good to see everybody out there. Thank you for letting me rant and rave a little bit about being better for each other and being the right people like we should. All right, guys. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less that you do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. I promise. I promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution limits the government, never limits you. You are the answer. If we get back to that republic, ooh-wee, it would be so good. Yeah. All right, guys. That's about it for me. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for all the great comments. Oh, Amanda was out here. We had Brenda, we had Terrence, we had Mary, Shelton was here, Rhonda, Hope, as well as others. Sorry I didn't get everybody. Carrie Heisman. I'm Jim Price. This is Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.